Alright, good morning everyone. A while back I had somebody ask me what kind of preparation I do prior to taking a flight. Basically, how do you decide if it's a go or no-go situation? So, the first thing I would do would be just obviously look out the window. If there's a clear sky and you can see, then it may be a good day for a flight. If you can't see across the street due to fog or if it's raining, then no. That's obvious to everybody. But once I once I decide that today might be a good day for a flight, I'll go to my iPad. I'll open up ForeFlight. ForeFlight is an aviation app that helps pilots make decisions, helps with their navigation. It's not legal for IFR, but it provides so much situational awareness that this is the go-to app for me in my plane. I take this iPad with me when I fly. So, okay, let's see. First, we're going to tap on airports in the bottom left. And I'm going to look at Mansfield, KMFD. That's the closest airport to me with weather. It's got a red dot next to it. Red dot means IFR. I'm not an instrument-rated pilot. I'm a VFR pilot, so that immediately would be a no-go for me. I wouldn't go any farther from here. But let's say that I'm instrument-rated. Let's say I've got a plane that's capable of flying in IFR conditions. So let's go on from here, and I'll show you where I get my information, what a lot of it means. So, okay, Mansfield. The METAR is the meteorological conditions currently at the airport. So, right now it shows broken 900 feet clouds, which does not give me the ceiling I need to fly VFR. It gives me the weather conditions. The TAF is the terminal area forecast. It will look into the future. And here this tells me 7 a.m. to 1500, which is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where they're expecting marginal conditions. And from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock, continue marginal. It just tells you the winds, 12 to 20 knots out of the west. Okay. Okay, let's tap on the maps button, bottom left. Top panel, there's a FPL, which stands for flight plan. So let's put in a flight plan. We'll go on a short trip. So I've got my plane hangared at Shelby, which is 1, 2, Golf. Hit the space bar. We're going to go to Port Clinton. KPCW. Space. All right, there. Excuse me. There is our course. That pink line going between Shelby Airport and Port Clinton. All right, go back up to the flight plan. When you want to make a trip like this, you put in your route on ForeFlight, and this little suitcase here with the red exclamation point on it, that's your pack button. So ForeFlight gathers all the information you're going to need along that course to make a safe flight. So we're going to tap the pack button. There we go. It shows you how big the files are that it's going to download. Weather, airmits, SIGMETs, and TFRs. Fuel prices, airport NOTAMs, and VFR charts. So we'll hit the pack button. It'll only take a minute or two here. It's downloading all the most current information along that course. There it says all packed. So we're going to close that. Now, if we want to get a legitimate briefing from the FAA, we still have the flight plan window open here. Let's see. Okay, here out on the far left side of the window, it says 2,500 feet. I'm going to tap that. Now it's going to show me the wind speed, direction, etc. along that course. So you don't want to fly into a strong headwind. So I probably would choose 2,500 feet here to fly to Port Clinton. It shows it's only 11 knot headwind. We'll burn approximately 4.9 gallons of fuel. The trip will take 28 minutes. Okay, ETD, estimated time of departure. We'll say noon. Noon. Okay, so noon, at 2,500 feet, we're going to fly from Shelby to Port Clinton. Okay, let's hit this button down here, the square with the up arrow in it. We're going to send this flight plan over to flights. Excuse me. All right, on the left side there, in the blue shaded box, you'll see our flight plan. On the right side, you see a green button that says briefing. So we're going to tap that. This is the same weather briefing you would get if you called the FAA Flight Services and spoke with someone on the phone. So you can get a briefing from ForeFlight. All right. This shows IFR airmets. We are not flying in IFR, but here it shows where they are and the hours which they're active. So looks like Lower Peninsula of Michigan. Here's one that covers part of our route in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. Okay, bottom left, icing airmets. It'll show where icing is possible and the times that it would be active. On the left side here, the top icing airmet. It looks like, oh boy, all of Michigan, lower and upper peninsula, northern Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, a little bit of Wisconsin. So that's a huge area that icing is possible. All right, bottom left, turbulence and high airmets. Okay, high is up in the flight levels. My little plane cannot go that high. I would pretty much ignore this page. But if you fly pressurized plane that's capable of flying up into the flight levels, this would be something of interest to you. I skip over this one. Okay, surface analysis. It shows us a weather analysis of the country, where the cold fronts are, the warm fronts, high and low pressure areas, etc. Next, we're going to skip on to METARs. METAR is a meteorological conditions along your route. So the top one, well, first of all, on the left side you see red dots, blue dots, and green dots. So the flight condition for that airport, if it's red, is IFR. Blue means marginal VFR, which means it could be moving in and out between VFR and IFR. You're right on the edge of those being VFR or IFR. It could switch back and forth. So green means go. Green stands for VFR also. So if you want to fly VFR, you look for green dots. And let's go back to the maps page real quick here. I want to show you something. Okay. Do you see all on the left side of this map, all the big green dots? And on the right side of the map, they're mostly blue and red and pink. So you can get a good idea of where the good weather is in the country just by zooming out and looking for all, the colored dots. It gives you the weather, the flight category at those airports. Okay, let's go back to our briefing. Okay. I'm going to switch this over to plain text so you can read it. So, the weather conditions. Shelby. It gives you the time, tells you the wind direction, how many miles of visibility you've got, what the ceiling is. Right, currently it's 900 feet, broken, overcast at 1,300 feet. Gives you the temperature and dew point, and the altimeter setting, which is just your barometer reading. It'll do that for the next one down. It's Mansfield, then Marion, then Galion, Lorain, Toledo, and finally a destination, which is Erie, Ottawa, or Port Clinton. And it's marginal at Port Clinton, and it's IFR in Shelby. So again, this is not a flight I would take. I'm just showing you the tools available to make your go, no-go decision. Okay, PIREPs are pilot reports. So when a pilot reports to air traffic control, where there's turbulence, rain, whatever, the air traffic control can post these pilot reports, and other pilots can read what these pilots were experiencing. It'll tell you where the PIREP was reported from, altitude, time, all sorts of good information there. Okay, bottom left, cloud coverage. Look at that. Okay, on the left-hand side, you can choose times, and they're all in Zulu time, which is Greenwich Mean Time. So you've got to make the adjustment. I think this time of year we are GMT -4. So here it says East 1500 Zulu, which would be 11 o'clock local time for me, which is basically now. You can tap different times. You can see where the clouds are moving to. Okay. Visibility, surface winds, and precipitation. Tap on the bottom left. It'll show you the wind direction. So it looks like a bunch of almost golf club looking things there. So the long part of that little angle shows the direction that the wind is going to, the direction the wind is going. And the little red fins that it has on it tells you how fast the wind's going. So each one of those fins means you add, I cannot remember off the top of my head at this moment, 5 or 10 knots. So if there's 3 of them on there and they're 10 knots, that would be a 30-knot wind. If I'm incorrect here, somebody just leave me a message down in the comments and let me know. Okay, it's also showing precipitation. No precipitation currently in Ohio. Pennsylvania and New York show some good precipitation, as does Michigan. Okay, next, TAF, which stands for Terminal Area Forecast. We've still got plain text turned on. So, in plain English, this is going to give you a forecast. 1700 Zulu and 1716 Zulu, 1727 Zulu. It tells you what they expect the weather conditions to be in the near future. Okay, let's go to a wind chart. There we go. You can see, okay, the long fins on those arrows, I believe, are 10, and the short ones are 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it tells you Okay, this is flight level 25, which is 2,500 feet. It shows the valid time. So at 2,500 feet, this is the wind direction and speed that we're going to be flying through. Okay, the next is a vertical cross section. It shows you the higher altitudes, the direction and speed of the wind. The blue line that goes up, across, and down is our flight path. So we're taking off from the elevation of Shelby Airport, which is 1,120 feet, climbing to 2,500 feet for most of the trip, and then down to, I think the elevation at Port Clinton's like 690, maybe. So that's why you see the green terrain stepping down, because the elevation, the ground elevation goes down the closer you get to Lake Erie when you go north from where I'm at. Okay, next is the winds aloft table. Tells you, okay, it's got two lines there, 1-2 Golf and KPCW. So it tells you at different altitudes the direction, the wind speed, and the temperature. So you can see across the chart here, all the way up to 6,500 feet, it'll tell you what the wind speed and temperatures are. Okay, departure NOTAMs. A NOTAM is a notice to airmen. If for some reason the airport is closed, for any reason, they could be doing construction on the airport, you'll find that in here. You should always read your NOTAMs before you fly to make sure your destination airport, you're going to be able to land there. You got to make sure you're going to be able to land there. It could show you here, let me see, Shelby, it shows a obstruction, tower, light. It says unserviceable, which I believe is going to be our beacon is currently not working. Okay, it shows NOTAMs for Galleon, Mansfield, there we go. Okay, destination NOTAMs. Okay, Erie, Ottawa, obstruction, tower, those are obstructions near the airport. It tells where they are and the height, so you don't hit the towers. Sometimes you see a crane listed there if they're doing construction, within a mile or so of the airport. Okay, en route and navigation NOTAMs. Okay, on the left side, you'll see airports and navigation aids listed, and it'll tell you a lot of those say unserviceable, which means they're not working correctly. En route SVC NOTAMs. Okay, so this is service NOTAM. It tells you that the automated weather broadcast system is not working. Okay, next. En route runway, taxiway, apron, NOTAMs. He's got Galleon on there, Mansfield. Okay, these are other NOTAMs. All right. And the end of our NOTAMs. Okay, return to beginning. Okay, we're back to beginning. Let's go back into maps. All those green arrows you see there is high traffic, or some of it could be low, I guess. Let's tap on one of them. Okay, SkyWest 5999, 35,000 feet. These are airplanes. It tells you who they are, what direction they're going, what speed, and just in case you were wondering. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I decide if it's a go, no-go situation to fly. That's how I decide where I'm going to go in case a place is closed due to a NOTAM. I can choose a different airport to go to, and eat is what we usually do. We go and get something to eat. But that's it. ForeFlight is my go-to app in the cockpit. So any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you would do that. I appreciate it. So thanks, YouTube. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.